Hello, hope you're doing well this week. Boy, it's nice to have some wonderful summer sunshine. Probably going to get pretty hot by the time you see this online. But glad you're joining again. Just want to bring a little encouraging word, maybe a little thought, keep us on track these days. Have you ever noticed how colorful fruit is? I'm sure you have. Just a couple of examples. The brilliant reds of some apples, and this is one of those halo kind of tangerine-looking things. Kind of an orange and a little bit of yellow. And there's bananas and pineapples. There's so many beautiful things God has created. And they're beautiful to look at, and they would give us such rich colors. And we love the taste. And they give you some energy, a healthy way to get energy when you need a treat or you just need a little boost. There are several things that God expects us as His followers, as people who claim the name of Christ, Christian. Several things that should be traits of us. And we could talk a lot about a lot of different kind of traits that the Bible teaches us that we should have. For example, we should be obedient and loyal to God. We should follow His commands over our own wishes. We should be loyal to Him no matter the sacrifice. We should be people who follow the truth that the Bible gives us, that God gives us, that His Son Jesus taught us. We should be followers of His truth. You can use the word doctrine or biblical theology. These are things that should be marks of who we are as Christians. We are often reminded that Jesus told us to be the salt and light in the world. We're to flavor the world in a way that points to God and God's things and His truth. We're to be light. We're to shine light in the darkness and point to God. Reveal sin so that it can be cleaned up and changed with God's help. Lots of things could be discussed there. And of course, one of the big ones is love. Jesus says, they'll know you're my disciples by your love. So I want to talk about a piece of love, and that is the fruit of the Spirit. Now, if you look in Galatians 5, there's this wonderful passage. Most people know it if you've been to church much. It talks about the acts of the flesh, or the things that are characteristics of us if we're following the way we as sinful people just want to go, the things that we want to do. And the worst of the worst are the kind of things that are listed for the most part. The acts of the sinful nature, it says, are sexual immorality, impurity, debauchery, idolatry and witchcraft, hatred, discord, jealousy, fits of rage, selfish ambition, dissensions, factions, envy, drunkenness, orgies, and the like. And he says, I warn you, as I did before, that those who live like this will not inherit the kingdom of God. Obviously, those are not to be the kind of traits we're known for, but instead we should be known for the fruit of the Spirit. So Galatians 5:22, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There's no law against these things. So, it's important to notice, as we look at the world we're living in these days, we've had, in the past week or so, a whole lot going on in our nation, as we've seen video of a police officer situation not handled correctly, and a lot of racial hurt going on there. And then we see the reaction to that has been some very well-meaning and peaceful protesters, as well as the worst of some bringing out vandalism, violence, and destruction. It's rattled our world and it's blown out of proportion. It's hard to keep peace, isn't it? Add that to what we've been going through since, March, about the whole COVID-19, the coronavirus stuff. And I've noticed that just even the average person, good-natured person, some of us are just starting to get a little snippy once in a while about all kinds of things, easily offended, grumping about things, mostly things beyond our control. It's, getting a little rough around the edges. Add to that the politics. Yesterday was the primary, and people are questioning and trying to find out what's really going on behind the scenes. Are there people, pushing buttons, manipulating things, and what kind of politics is going on? And some people are getting wound up in that. As Christians, we should be known for fruit of the Spirit. We also got a few nuts, don't we? And some of us have been a bit fruity for a long time, maybe, and then some of us are a little nutty once in a while. All of us, me too. We get that way once in a while. So I want to point out 3 fruit of the Spirit just briefly to maybe focus on as we try to get along with one another, as we try to be known as people who are following Jesus Christ with fruit of the Spirit. So 3 I'd like to mention are patience, gentleness, and self-control. Patience. As Christians, we should be growing to become the most patient people on earth. We should be known for being long-suffering with one another and with people around us and in the world. Gentleness. Our ability should be the ability of being slow to speak, slow to anger, quick to reply with listening and kindness. Something we can all work on. Self-control, that steady temperament is what we should have. That isn't just explosive reactionary, isn't just emotional splatter, but is thinking it through, holding back the tongue, being gracious, being forgiving of people, and giving them room. As followers of Jesus, we can be like the fruit. And when we have and exhibit the fruit of the Spirit, we can add sweetness, energy, and comfort to the world. Now, I like peanuts, but let's be careful that we're not coming off too nutty to everybody without having the fruit of the Spirit. A little less nuts, a little more fruit of the Spirit. God bless you.